So what's coming up first is a graphic that was done by an architect we've been working with on this idea of converting one of the open pit mines or a space like that into a cold weather testing facility for the airships. So essentially what we're seeing is sometime into the future with a cover over the open pit mine. It wouldn't have to start that way. The airship can just land vertically in, as long as it's protected from the sidewalls. You're just going to move around. It can be worked on and dealt with. So for cold weather testing, we can start with something much easier. But in the longer term, it's quite possible to envision not just operations, location like Thompson, but actual manufacturing here. They can be assembled here. All aspects of airships can be done here. And this is just a picture of what is possible. So it's going to soon be in. But you do get a sense of the proportions. You need a pit the size of the emptied out nickel pits in order to put an airship in. They're very large. Just to give you an idea of the size, the old Zeppelins were about 2.5 football fields long. So they're very large. But the sky is immense. There's lots of room. So thank you very much, Gary, for the lead in. And this idea of fruits and vegetables has been close to my heart for a long time. We import 160,000 truckloads of fruits and vegetables every year. And we import them 12 months a year. And they come from Mexico and southern U.S. From Mexico, it's about 4 days on the road, another 2 days getting through the borders and inspection. So by the time you get things, they're already 6 days old. They tend to be picked green. Imagine if all the apples you ever ate were green apples that were painted red. What would they taste like? Well, that's actually what we get with bananas and a lot of our fruits. They don't taste like they do in the tropics. So if we didn't have that, and I think that would make a lot of sense. First of all, it would remove a huge amount of pollution with all those tractor trailers that are driving back and forth. But even if we had that, we still have to have a place to test it for cold weather, because we're going to be bringing these products in all weather, and even across the U.S. you can get very severe storms. So there has to be a place somewhere in the world where airships can be tested to make sure they can survive icing and cold weather temperatures. And that's one of the ideas we've had. That's it. Yep. So this is a task force that was set up. And again, thanks to Walter for being so forward-thinking on this. This is a group that we put together.
Mary, can you hold the microphone closer?
Sure. Okay, how's that? So this is the names of the group that we put together to do this. We've been working on this idea for several years now. It's not something brand new. Why I got interested and why I started looking at airships in the first place had to do with the conditions that we see in northern Manitoba. We talked about a lot of the opportunities. We haven't talked too much about the problems. Chief Levitt was here, he points to the roads, and we need roads. Well, we do need roads, or at least we need connections. Because if you look at the conditions that we see in a lot of the communities, it's bad housing, it's bad health, it's food that's 2.5 to 3 times what we pay in Winnipeg and perhaps here in Thompson for that matter. And it's all a function of transportation. It's all because we can't get in and out. Roads, I love roads. I'm a transport economist. And the head of the transport is, how can I not love roads? But I also recognize the reality of roads. Doug mentioned the cost of building roads at $2 million a kilometer. I think that's just building roads. That's not the whole system. If you look at the proposal to build roads on the east side of Lake Winnipeg, it was $3 million per kilometer on average to put in some 800 kilometers of roads. I talked to people in the industry today, they say, yeah, you're closer to about 5 million a kilometer today. So if we have 2,400 kilometers of roads, that would be $10 billion. The provincial budget for roads, the minister's right here to confirm, that's about half a billion right now. So that would be 20 years of the budget for building for all our roads in Manitoba just to create create gravel roads to serve all the north. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, but how long would that take? Do we have enough time to actually build those roads before climate change catches up to us and the ice roads are not going to work anymore? Well, these are questions that have no good answers. But what I can say to you is there is an option for the in-between. We could build airships much faster and provide service not only to Manitoba, because the problem doesn't stop here. It's right across the northwestern Ontario. Northern Ontario has 3,000 kilometers of ice roads, and of course further north the province of Central. So this is why we think we need to start taking a very serious look at cargo airships. Again, American Chief Flat? Sure. Chief Flat was quoted by the CBC of noting that one of the homes in his community, 5 bedrooms, and 25 people living in it. Well, that's not unusual. Overcrowding is a huge problem in the north. And these are some of the numbers from 2016. It has gotten better, by the way. But you can see that 40% of all the homes in Nunavut are short by 1 bedroom at least. And there's a floating population of people sleeping in living rooms. Because you can't be homeless at 40 below. That's not going to work. So the reality is we've got a tremendous housing problem. And yes, maybe the idea we had of the remotely controlled airplane bringing some food, that'll help solve the food problem perhaps. But you're not going to bring in a roof truss. You're not going to bring in septic tanks and a little airplane. You have to have the size to do this. And the main problem of our housing shortages, we just have to make it build houses fast enough, and they're way too expensive. It's approximately 4 times the cost to build a house in the north as it is in the south. So it is budgets that are constrained as well. This is the model of what we see. Simply put, again, transportation system, goods will be moved to a location like Thompson, which by the way is one of the best locations in my view. It is the hub of the north. It'd be a fantastic place to bring things to transship, to airships, and hope they go to all the communities around. In the community, have a landing base, food materials, and of course they come back. It isn't just remote communities. My heart goes up to those communities. I think the conditions are unbelievable. You know, the world would not believe that a country as rich as Canada has conditions that are, that I would think intolerable as those are in some cases. But we also have demand for mining. The problem is the same. How do you get access to the mine? And if you're paying $5 million per kilometer for a gravel road, how many miles can you go before all of a sudden the mine is economic to develop? And not only that, you have to get permission and permits and everything else to do it. It's not just a slam dunk, here's the money, let's build a road. This map shows critical minerals. You know, they don't point out many in the place where there are no roads or access because, you know, presumably we can't get to them. Well, we could with airships. And the airships can do something else. And one of the problems with transport is you need to carry those both directions to make money. Right now, most of the things going north come back empty. But if we had mining near these communities as well, you can bring up the concentrates from the mine, and typically in a mine, we've got double the amount coming out than going in. So you have a lot of empty vehicles coming north, they can bring forward all the goods we need from the community. So there is a benefit to the communities too. You're going to hear more, I hope, is coming. When I got Korea, you're going to hear about this operation in northern Quebec. They have a mine, it is a mining case, they started now. It's a rare earth deposit worth billions of dollars, with all the right stuff, except for one problem, it's in a bad place. You need 240 kilometers of road to get to a railhead, or to go the other way to do a major road. Well, they can't afford to do that. Again, that would be $1 billion road. with airships. They are on record, probably here this afternoon, they'll take the first airship that comes and say you want to operate. Well, there's some urgency. We talked about this today. I won't go on. But climate change is real, and we're feeling it all. This is what some of the airships are looking like. These are some of the leading airships that are out there. This is the Russian device. That's an artist rendition. They haven't built it yet. This is our design. It's an artist depiction. It hasn't been built yet. Out in the middle, that's an actual photograph. And that vehicle was under construction. That picture was taken. But you'll see now that it's going to be, it's out there and going around. The other one on the bottom, flying whales. Again, that's an artist depiction, but they're well underway in terms of development, and they certainly spend a lot of money. The one on the upper left-hand side, that is a photograph. That vehicle was built, and most folks are trying to do some more. And of course, the one in the middle is also one that was at the point of being built before COVID, and things changed. So this is the picture of the largest rigid airship that's been built in 85 years. The person funding that is Sergey Brin. He's the co-founder of Google. It's not Google's money, it's its own. People that say, well, maybe 250 million is already put into this. That picture was November the 8th of last year. And we said, when is this getting in the air? We're all getting impatient. But these folks on the ground are all former NASA people. And they're treated like a space mission. They don't want any problems. And we don't want this to be one of those circumstances where everybody says, all airships are all too dangerous, they won't work. Forget about that. We don't want an accident, and they certainly don't. So they've been training ground crews, pilots, taking this airship in and out of the hangar. They're ready to fly any time now. And when it does fly, it'll be front page news. And I hope the beginning of airship mania, because what we need is to get more of these vehicles in the air, to replace some of the other things that turn on. You'll know this is all electrically powered. Right now, they're looking at these electric systems, but they're going to go into the fuel cells. And this plan is to be a zero carbon emissions vehicle, which it can easily be. This is a study we did for the, thanks to Transport Canada. This is part of the Northern Corridor project. We were involved in this study looking at, if we had airships, how would we use them in the north? And looking at this, for a 30-ton lift airship, we'd obviously truck things as far as you could, or extend them by rail, then ship to the airship. So these different colored areas, these are the minimum distances based on different locations where the airships could go from and the cost that they would be able to travel at. You'll notice that the cost down here, 44 cents a kilogram in this area, is about the same cost as a truck over ice roads. So they're already competitive at that size. If you start getting bigger, they get better. Again, the vehicle here, this is the size of the Zeppelin built 85 years ago. So it's not that we can't achieve that. We're just looking at a smaller vehicle because again, we're smaller communities. As you go further, of course, you have to spend more. You get bigger, the cost is less. So there's lots of opportunities, of course, for mining, and I do agree with you, well, Gary, that it's going to be one of the biggest users of this technology for sure. They don't want to stop at 100, they want the 500-ton beast that can be out there. So it's going to have a lot of stuff to move. So some directives, again, airships must be capable of year-round use. Now it is true, we could use them all summer. That would be great, that gives us a lot more activity and opportunity than we have in the north right now. But if we want to have real progress in the north, we need year-round service of large freight at low cost. Thompson's a great gateway to operate from, but it's also a fantastic place for COVID testing. It's not the only one. Fairbanks, Alaska has considered this. Yellowknife is not ignoring the project. But you do have the asset of being located at a good location, with good access to the south, and possibly using an open pit mine or a port. We also have a great reputation here. I won't steal Laura's thunder. I'll move on very quickly, but a lot of cold weather testing is done here now. This is what we're talking about. This is a photograph of the open pit mine. There's lots of sites. There's a very big airship in there in the core. I don't have a good picture of it, but it also could be covered. And this as a trench. So the basic model, the airship comes in. This is the landing pad that we're talking about. One of the big questions is, how do you handle airships on the ground? If it's lighter than air, and it's really big, it's like a sail, the nose has to be kept under the wind. Well, most airships will see they're attached to a mast, and they'll swing around and the wind changes. Well, that's okay. You're just sitting there. But how do you get cargo on and off? 100 tons of cargo, you're not going to hand bomb that. You need equipment. You need to hold it steady, and above all else, safety. I always tell the airship industry, you injure anyone, you're going to be suspended. You kill someone, you're going to be shut down. We're not going to tolerate that. So there has to be a safe way of doing things. Once we land onto the turntable automatically points the airship into the wind, and of course, it's a very big turntable. We're looking at something that's maybe 100 meters in diameter, so like a revolving restaurant in terms of size. But once you're on the turntable, if the airship moves, you move with it, you'll be safe, and it allows transfer on and off. I won't go into much detail on that, but I want to talk about the opportunity. Well, it's manufacturing for the south. It could be assembled here in the north, but parts are going to come from everywhere. You certainly can go to the south as well. For remote communities, there's an opportunity to lower your costs. And it doesn't mean that you never get roads. I'd like to point out to people, when the West was founded, the railway came first, communities were settled, the roads came afterwards, once there was an opportunity for enough traffic. Once you have enough traffic to make sense, it makes a much better sense to build a road. So, and the airships need to do that way. Anyway, mining industry, obviously, great opportunities, hauling, exploration, all kinds of activity mining. For governments, an expanded tax base, prosperous regions, there's group. Would you like to have an airship industry paying taxes here? I think so. And the plan for us, the task force, we need a feasibility study. Can we actually do what we'd like to do with regard to recycling an open pit mine or a quarry or some activity area to be used over the testing and demonstrate the impact? And we asked, well, not that I want to press the minister this way, I'll do that in private ministry, I won't do it in public. But from somewhere, we need some seed money to look at this to see whether it can be done. And we're not looking at a huge amount of money to do a feasibility and some engineering to see what would it cost to actually do this. The airship industry is interested. We've talked to them, and they need someplace around the world where they can go to do this quality testing. Why not here? And if it will work here, it'll work anywhere. So, this is my last slide. It's pretty simple. No cold weather certification, no airship service. So I think we are incumbent upon us somewhere to think about where are we going to do this and start looking ahead, because the airships are coming. We want to be there and ready to move. So with that, thank you very much for your